Yo, what is up everyone? Today, oh my god, today is the big day. If you look on my bike right now, you could probably have a look. And if you look closely, you may be able to tell what we're doing today, and it involves that. Okay, so right, if you don't already know, I have bought myself a narrow wide chainring and Holotech bottom bracket to install to my B-twin. Now, this all together, all this here, including the bottom bracket as well, all came to 60 quid. The chainring was a tenner, and the rest of it was all 50 quid. So, as you can see, I've already taken off the left crank and bottom bracket thing. Main reason for that is because I wanted to see if this even fit my bike, and luckily it did, so I didn't have to worry about that. And also I'd just like to say, shout out to whoever thought that putting plastic, like this is all plastic, like look, you can see, whoever thought that putting a plastic bottom bracket casing thing on was a good idea, they need to get retired, because that is the most stupid idea. It took me so long to get rid of this, but hopefully now this should be much more easier, especially with one of my new tools I've bought. It is a bottom bracket tool, which is also a chain whip as well. So if you're taking off your cassette, which is there, then you've got bottom bracket tool and a cassette as well. So let's get straight into this. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna have to do, considering I've already taken off the left crank, is to spin the bike around. So let's just do that quickly. And there you go, we now have the bike flipped around. Now, this step will apply to the left crank as well, because it really is useful. The main thing you're gonna need is, you're gonna need a crank removal tool, which is currently on this crank. It basically, you can either get one which looks like this, or you can get like a proper big one. Let me just hit it off to show you what I mean. So this is the crank puller tool which I've bought. I bought this off Amazon for I don't even know how much. Basically, this goes into this little hole right here once you've taken out your crank, and this spindle right here, this shiny metal piece right here, will push up against your bottom bracket axle. So what you're going to do is you're going to need Allen keys, depending on what size your nut is down there, which is, if I can find, I think, here it is, over here. Depending on what size this nut is, mine's a 6mm, that is the nut for right here, as you can see. So you're going to need to find a Allen key to fit that. No, mine's an 8mm, I mean, sorry. And what you're going to do is you're just going to put it in, and you're just going to take out the bolt, just like this. Okay, so now you've got the bolt off, what you're going to want to do is you want to get your crank removal tool, and you want to get either an adjustable spanner, or for me this is a 17mm nut. And what you're going to want to do is you want to screw this straight into your crank, and then yeah, I'll show you. Let me just show you. So as you can see my crank at the moment. What you want to do is you want to get your crank pulley tool, and you want to get this bit, and you want to jam it right in between here. And you want to screw it on. Now, if you can hand tighten it, that should be perfectly fine. And then what you want to do is you want to get your adjustable spanner, or whatever spanner you are using, and you want to just twist this metal bit. Now, this metal bit may be a bit far out, so just hand tighten it to where it can't be tightened anymore, or to where it starts getting really tight like that. See, I can't turn it anymore, but I just hand tighten it. Now you want to hold onto the bike, because you want to make sure it doesn't fall. You want to turn. Now this will be extremely tight, especially if your bike has never had this type of lug before, because it will be the first time of the crank even coming off of its entire lifetime. Also, a good idea is to probably shift down, because you need to that will help most likely with getting your crank arm off, because that means that your derailleur won't be pushing up. Now, another life hack quickly, just put your derailleur up again, it'll help you push it out a little bit. Now, it should be a bit easier to do. Let me make sure that you can still see. Yes, you can. You just want to twist the tool like that. Now, this is going to be extremely tight, as I said. If this is the first time your bike ever getting this after a very long time, then you will find it. Yeah, make sure your bike doesn't fall like that. That is not a good idea, but that was literally just coming off. But you wanna, especially if the bike hasn't been, as I was saying, if the bike has never had this done to it before, it will be very tight. Now, if you're the brand new owner of a bike, it should be a bit more easier than if you was a second-hand owner like I was. But I'm a second-hand owner, and I know that this crank never came off because the previous owner was one of my mates. And there we go. Now you should be able to take the crank off just like that. Now your chain will be there, just leave it like that for now because you're going to need to take the chain off anyway. So yeah, unscrew that and there you go. You now have your crank arm off. Now you've got your crank arm off, you're going to need your bottom bracket tool. Now your bottom bracket tool should be a socket like this, something like this, so it's got multiple splines on there to fit right in this gap. Now you should have a metal one, unless you own a B-twin obviously, because for some reason B-twin's there. Now you want to be careful if you have a plastic one, because your one will end up shredded if you're not careful, just like this one, and that is not very good. So what you want to do is you just want to loosen it. You know, I do believe it's lefty loosey. I'm not too sure. It's either lefty loosey or righty tighty. It could be the exact same as like pedals and that. So I'm just going to go left anyway. This will take a lot of movement because it is very tight. Ow. Just jam myself with the bars. You want to crack it, but you want to be careful. Let me crack this first and then I'll show you. I'm telling you now, whoever thought that putting a plastic bottom bracket shell on a bike which is tightened down really hard needs to go to rehab. All this is just all shredded off now. I'm telling you, like, look, there's bits of plastic all over my floor just from this bottom bracket, and I really feel like offing myself right now because oh, this is just so annoying. Like, I've already got a headache and this is making it even worse. And no matter which way I go, it'll just keep slipping because it's plastic. Who thought that putting a plastic bottom bracket shell was a good idea? Whoever, if any B-twin or decathlon people are watching this, please whoever is the highest you can go to, please tell them to rethink their idea of putting a fucking plastic bottom bracket shell on a bike. You're using a metal tool on a plastic thing to try and get it off. Why would you think putting a plastic, I repeat, plastic, fucking like proper full-on plastic thing on a bike was a good idea? Whoever invented it needs to go to rehab, I'm telling you now. Let me just quickly show you, just to show you how pissed off I am. This is what your bottom bracket is kind of supposed to look like. As you can see, if we get some light going, there you go. You've got your spindles, well not your spindles, you've got all your teeth which grip on to your thing. Now this one's plastic as well, as you can see. You can squidge it, and it did come off quite hard but quite easily at the same time, and I didn't lose too much thread. Now, without trying to show you what I've done, there's the bottom bracket for the other one. It's completely flushed. Basically, there you go. That's just that bit. This is currently what the bike looks like, because this bit decided to completely, not shred, see, kind of shred, you know what I'm trying to say. I can't think of the word, but now my bottom bracket looks like that, and I need to somehow get the plastic out of that, and somehow get this out, which I don't know how. So far I've just been chiseling away using my chisel, just going at the plastic at like an angle, and just trying to chisel away all the plastic using this hammer, because I'm now extremely angry and I don't know why, but it's filmed that way for some reason. So you can see what I'm trying to do, but yeah. Okay, so right, after about 2 to 3 hours of excruciating muscle pain, depression, a bunch of headaches, we have the left bottom bracket cut there. And if you're a mountain biker, you may know what a bottom bracket is, especially if it's a square tapered one. Now, there's the face of the bottom bracket, there's the shell of the bottom bracket. There's one of the bearings of the bottom bracket. And here is the bottom bracket itself. That is supposed to be there, but I had to use a hammer to ram this thing out here. You can probably tell there's some score marks there, so I'm gonna have to somehow sort this out. But now we can finally put on the bottom bracket. Okay, so it is now 2 hours and a half later, and I've finally got the bottom bracket on. As you can see, works smoothly, no issues at all. Now we've just got to put on the cranks and the crank arm. I've already put the pedals on, and then we need to take off the front derailleur, take off the front shifter, and then we are all sorted. So I need to grease up the crank arms here, and then I need to slide it in on the right side. So let's get it. And there we go, boys and girls, the cranks are now on. As you can see, she's spinning nice and freely. Obviously I'll need to break in the bearings for obvious reasons, but now all we need to do is just do up these two pinch bolts right here, and then we shall be sorted. Okay, right, so we need this, we need to attach it to that, and we need a 5mm hex. So if we just flip that up something like that, and just put it in like that. There we go. So now we need to go righty tight as that is. There you go. Just get it tight most of the way to where it's nice and snug. Do the other pinch bolt. Tighten it. There we go. Very nice. Now that is the bottom bracket and all that done, all sorted. Now we need to take off the front derailleur. That means taking apart the chain and take off front derailleur, cables and that. Okay, so boys and girls, we've got the bike flip done. I can already tell you this is gonna look sick. It already looks so much better with a narrow wide chainring instead of a 3x. So let's get that front derailleur off. I've got my master link pliers. Hopefully they actually work, because usually with master links the trouble I've had is I press them and they just don't want to come undone. So now I've just got to find the master link, take the chain off, then we've got to take the front derailleur off. Well, it came off much easier than I expected. So now all we have to do is we just pull the chain through here. We will have to end up shortening the chain, but that is absolutely fine. That is something I'm willing to do. And now let's just get this front derailleur off. So it looks like from here I'll probably fit my 5mm in there. So let me get my 5mm. Let me see if it is in fact a 5mm, which it is. So then all we've got to do is we just put this to loosen, and we just go out just quick, you know, 1, 2, 1, 2, like that. There we go, should be all good. And then we loosen up the cable as well, because we're going to be taking that off. Oh, bugger. The cable should just come out of that. Right, now we just got to take off the front derailleur itself. Okay, so we've got the front derailleur off. As you can see, it is a bit dirty here. Just give it a quick clean after all done. Very dirty, but that is my hands doing. Now let's just pull out the cable, which it looks like there is, I don't know where it is, I can't see it. Yeah, one of them cable stopper things which will stop the cable going through nicely. So I'm just gonna tug at it. Just give me a sec. There we go. We've now got the cable out. As you can see, you can't really see it, but there you go. Cable's out. Now all we have to do is we find the shifter cable, which is this one here. just give it a little tug, you know. We'll get it a bit, there we go, it's all nice and loose. So now, shift the cable is out like that. We just need to take off our grips, our back brake, and then the regular shifter. And just like that, we are now officially, just get the bar. Now that we are officially one by at the front, we're now going to have to sort out this chain. So I need to grab my chain tool like I do here, and what we're going to do is we're going to have it in first gear at the back, so we need to move the derailleur up all the way, and we're going to have it very stretched out over the back, so we're going to have like a very like kind of very far forwards gear in first, so then, you know, just for looks and that. So we're going to be taking off a decent amount of chain, so let's go. There we go, and just like that, I didn't even have to shorten the chain. We are now officially one by. Now that is probably going to be the end of today's video. I'm just going to have to do some little tweaking, you know, with the rear derailleur, just to make sure all my gears are correct and it's all fine. But look how good she looks. I'm telling you, going to a one by is the motive right now. It just makes your bike look so much more nicer. Now I'll hopefully have enough space up here for maybe next upgrade once I get a bit more money, because currently I'm broke for a dropper post, because this bike is needing a dropper post. Now, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys did enjoy. Please look out very soon, I'm telling you. Me and Vincent are going to be going to Leon C stair set. Now if you don't know what that is, it's basically this massive stair set near me and Vin, and you know what, I'll just put a clip of Sam Pilgrim right now doing the stair set.
Oh, oh, boss. Oh.
I told you, it's mad. It's one of the main things me and Vin are going to be doing, and this is going to be the bike which I'm going to be taking out. It's good that I did do one bike, because this bike, when you're riding, mainly the main reason I wanted to do one bike is because during the ride up I found out that I was skipping in my second gear more, and this is the same gear ratio right now as me riding in second, because I'd always be second at the front and whatever gear I went in the back, and I found out that whenever I was climbing I would always skip a gear at the front, so it'd be really annoying while I'd be climbing, because it would just like jump, and then obviously your feet would jump forward and you'd be screwed. And then if you used to do a big jump, your chain would just bounce straight off the chain ring, and then you'd be screwed. Like I'll be in second, and I'll do a massive jump, land, and then it will jump down from second at the front to first at the front. So that's another reason why I've done that. Reasoning number, is there any more reason? No, there's not really any more reasons, it just makes your hardtail look better, makes your hardtail look better, doesn't it? So yeah, that's going to be at the end of today's video. I hope you guys did enjoy. Don't forget to like, subscribe, turn on post notifications, and I shall see you in the next one. Peace.